So my wife just upgraded to the Apple Watch Series 8 that came out 6 months ago in September of 2022. She upgraded from a Series 1 that came out in 2015. So as you can tell, that was a pretty big upgrade for her, lots of improvements. And I actually just did a video on the watch that I'm using, which is the Apple Watch Series 5, and how that's held up in 2023. But in today's video, I want to take a look at some of the big improvements that my wife has felt in the Apple Watch Series 8, how that watch has held up being 6 months later, if it's a good purchase, if it's worth your time and your money, and how it compares to my own watch and how I use my watch versus how she uses her watch. So let's get into it. Let's talk tech. My name is Arnell with Ardently Tech. So today I want to take a look at how the Apple Watch Series 8 is doing 6 months later. I want to let you know some of the big improvements that my wife has felt and seen that include the much bigger display. This display is great. It actually extends all the way out and there's very little bezels compared to the original Apple Watch screens. The reliability, the battery life on the watch, how comfortable it is on her wrist, and the fact that she actually sleeps with it for the sleep tracking, and also its really great fast charging capabilities. She upgraded from the Series 1, which was actually the second Apple Watch that ever came out. It was the first update to the original Apple Watch that came out many, many years ago. And so she immediately saw a massive improvement in the much bigger screen, the bigger form factor of the watch, because she had a 38mm before, and the base size of the Series 8 is the 41mm. So this was a perfect size for her to not only get something a little bit bigger than the 38mm she had before, but to have a screen that was substantially bigger than what she had before on the original, or at least the first update to that original Apple Watch. Now, she saw a massive improvement in the reliability of a smartwatch, of an Apple Watch. So the watch that she had before, it was obviously getting up there in years, so it was getting really unreliable. It just throughout the day, it would just randomly shut down. Obviously, it wasn't getting any kind of new OS updates or any kind of software updates, so she was just kind of stuck on an older Apple Watch OS. It would like miss notifications, she would miss text messages, and her phone would ring, but her watch wouldn't pick up anything. It would lose connection with her phone all the time. It was just a glorified digital watch for the most part. Now, she uses this for lots of things that she couldn't do before. So she uses this for sleep tracking. So she'll actually wear this all night and it's comfortable on her wrist. She also uses this when she does swim lessons with our two kids. So she actually goes in the water. It has a great water lock feature that allows her to basically keep the water out of the watch. If there is any water that does get in, it can actually expel some of that extra water that's in there. So it's a great water resistant feature that she didn't really have before, and the sleep tracking is a much welcomed feature that she's just very happy to have now. Moving on to the screen. So the screen is much bigger and much more vibrant in colors than she had on the Apple Watch Series 1. She's able to see her pictures that she has as her wallpaper. She's able to see all the different watch faces that just have so much more color and breathe so much more life onto her wrist that she just wasn't really getting before. So that is one of the big features that she's really enjoying, and one of the first things that she's noticed, because, well, it's the display, it's what you're really looking at most of the time. Battery life is also much better on this watch compared to the Series 1, so she is able to get through a day and a half, really, to 2 days with the usage that she does. Typically what she does is go through the whole day, not have to worry about charging it, and then she'll throw it on the charger around like 8 or 9 p.m. for a quick charge, usually for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then she'll just put it right back on, go to sleep, it'll do the sleep tracking, and she'll just go through her next day and then just recharge it again at around 8 or 9 in the evening. Real quick, if you are finding value in this video, just want to let you know that we here at Ardently Tech believe that tech was made to make our lives easier, so we're here to help you understand and discover that tech that helps improve our lives. If you are somebody that's ever been confused by tech, or somebody that wants to learn more about it, definitely subscribe for more videos like this. Now, I did a video on the Series 5 not too long ago, letting you know how it's held up all these years later since it came out about 4 years ago, just my overall experience of using it in 2023. And I let you know all my thoughts in that video. You can definitely check that out. But I use my watch much differently than my wife uses her Apple Watch Series 8. Now, my wife is using her Apple Watch a lot heavier than I use mine. She's using it to answer phone calls, answer text messages, get all of her notifications, and barely, use her phone as little as possible because she loves just using this watch. And it's just been a massive improvement for her because there's a lot of things that she wasn't able to do before with that Series 1 that she's now able to do on the Series 8. With all of that use, it's much different than what I use my watch for. I'm basically using it kind of like a glorified digital watch. So I'm using it really just to answer text messages, get my emails. I'm really using my watch just to kind of get some quick information and tell the time, and that's really about it. Whereas she's using it a lot more. She's using the flashlight feature more often. She's doing a lot more stuff that I just don't really think to use my watch for. But also my usage is just different. And so we're two different people. We use our watches two different ways. But that leads me into my next point, which is some of the differences between an older watch like my Series 5 and a newer watch like her Series 8. So on the Series 8, they introduced two big improvements, two new features that aren't featured on older watches. And two features that personally I think are great, one of which I wish I could use myself. The first great feature, which I personally would love to use, is the crash detection. So if she's driving, the watch will automatically alert myself, other people, on a certain list, and let them know, hey, this person is possibly, just got into a crash. There was a crash detected. And so it lets us know that she was possibly in a crash in case she can't reach us and let us know. But it also gives her the option to make an emergency SOS call just by pressing a button on her watch. She doesn't have to find her phone, especially if it was a bad enough crash and her phone's just flying all over the place. She has her watch with her to automatically do that and bring up the option to make that emergency call. Now, the next feature that I just think is a great improvement and that she uses is that ovulation and temperature tracking that was not available previously on the other Apple Watches. So my Series 5 does feature cycle tracking. Obviously, I'm not using that myself, but that is a feature that was on older watches. Now, this improvement here does allow for ovulation tracking and temperature tracking, basically recording and monitoring your temperatures throughout various days of your cycle to let you know of your potential times that you might be ovulating. That way, it just gives you a bit more information, especially for people that are trying to conceive and want to watch that ovulation. And so it just helps to empower them and just give them a bit more information rather than having to go to an actual specialist to get more detailed information and go to those appointments and things like that. It just gives you a little bit more information. It doesn't take the place of a specialist, but just gives you that extra information that you didn't have before. So all in all, the Apple Watch Series 8 is a great buy. It is very useful. There's lots of new features, two of which that I just went over. They're the two biggest features that I personally think are useful, but especially if you're coming from an older Apple Watch like the Series 4, 3, 2, and 1, even the 0, you're definitely going to notice a massive improvement. Definitely 6 months later, it's shown that it's been a great, reliable watch. And so, like I said, if you're somebody that is looking for the newest device, some of the newest features, wanting some of that extra safety tech that is in this watch, this is a great watch for you. Now, the Apple Watch Series 8 does retail for $400 if you get it directly from Apple. That's that Apple tax, but you can actually get it for $350 on Amazon using our affiliate link down below, so definitely check that out. And I'll also link the Series 5 if you're looking for an older watch, a little bit more value-minded watch yourself. Now, you can definitely check out that Apple Watch Series 5 video right here if you're interested in that. And if you're somebody that is looking for something a little bit different than an Apple Watch, definitely check out this Fitbit Charge 5 review by Adrian. It's a great Apple Watch competitor that is just a great value, good quality watch. You're gonna get a good, consistent, reliable experience out of it, but he'll let you know some of the things he likes about it and some of the things he doesn't like about it in that full review. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.